PC gaming is in a lot of trouble right now, probably more than we think. Who can save it? Here's the things that AMD and NVIDIA can do right now to help save PC gaming for the rest of us. Coming right up. Come on. Hi, welcome back to PC Builder. I'm Jason. Today we are going to cover the problems in PC gaming, and yes, I don't think this slide here is actually as melodramatic as many might think. I think PC gaming is in a lot of trouble, and AMD and NVIDIA must act immediately in order to start the process to get us back on the right track and save gaming. Of course, our channel here is all about giving you the best price to performance in your builds, so if that's content you want to be part of, remember to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon. That way you get notified when we go live. All right, with that, let's jump straight into it. So of course, a small disclaimer. I'm obviously not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please don't take it as such. I'm simply looking at my crystal ball as somebody who's been in and around PC gaming for quite some time and seeing the progressions going on and making some educated guesses about where this needs to go and what some of the actors involved need to do. Other people might disagree with me. One of whom I'm going to put down in the video description. Moore's Law is Dead did a really great two-part series on this topic. He reached some different conclusions than me. You should watch those videos, decide for yourself. But this is my opinion, kind of my take on the market, so here we go. Let's talk about why PC gaming is actually in a lot more trouble than many people think it is. And it all has to do not with the health crisis and some of the shortages caused by that, as much as it has to do with cryptocurrency. Specifically Ethereum and Ravencoin. These are coins that are actually mined using GPUs. Why am I showing you Bitcoin then? I think the trajectory that Bitcoin is on and has gone through is a similar trajectory to those other currencies. Even though those other currencies have important differences, I'm simply talking about it from a market's perspective, particularly with respect to how it's going to impact the GPU market for gamers. So let's take a quick look at this. So how did Bitcoin go from a currency that was up and down and it kept jumping up like in 2009, 2011, only to crash back to earth each and every single time until 2017, 2018 crash? Well, the difference between then and now, where it's reaching all-time highs above $50,000, and a lot of people think it's going to go even higher, is it has gained institutional support for the currency. This is no longer something that your crazy friend is mining and throwing all their time into. This is something that major financial institutions are now investing in. Well, what comes with major financial institutions? Things like too big to fail come with major financial institutions because those institutions have the political power, have the market capacity and other things in order to protect their own investments. So I know a lot of folks in the gaming community think right now that, oh, this cryptocurrency thing, it's going to come, then it's going to crash. We're going to have all these cheap GPUs on the market. Maybe not this time. So now that we've seen where Bitcoin is gone, Ethereum is on a very, very similar trajectory. Now, Bitcoin obviously isn't mined with GPUs, but Ethereum is. Ethereum, starting out earlier this year, and I should say last year, hit a low of about $90 per Ether. That's what the currency is called, back in March 12th. That's just about a year ago as I'm filming this. It's about 11 months. Currently sitting at a high of almost $2,000 per Ether. That is an insane trajectory. And this is why a lot of people think, oh, it's a bubble, it's going to crash. But as we've seen with Bitcoin, as Ethereum also gains institutional support and institutional backing, it could also become too big to fail. Well, what's the problem if it becomes too big to fail? Well, as they used to say in the Western, this town ain't big enough for the both of us. And unfortunately, the current GPU market simply is not big enough to both supply cards for cryptocurrency mining as well as for gaming. And when that happens, not enough supply, a lot of demand, what happens? Prices skyrocket. And you can see that here. Go to Newegg, check out, look at all these cards I'm willing to buy here. The cheapest one is a crappy GTX 1650, not a super, just a crappy 1650 for $317, plus 40 bucks shipping, which is insane. Because these are all third-party sellers, because Newegg is out. And if you watch my videos on how to get old generation cards, yes, you can still use some stock trackers. Yes, Newegg Shuffle is still probably your absolute best bet for the new cards. I'll put links to those up in the card. But this is the fallout from that. And a lot of people think, well, we'll just wait this out. I'm just going to wait out this situation. But in fact, every single month, every single week, every single day, these prices are going up. Supply is declining, not increasing, and demand is staying super strong. And frankly, as the price of Ethereum goes up, so does that demand. So that brings us to who can actually save gaming. Well, frankly, in my opinion, and I know some people disagree with this, only AMD and NVIDIA are positioned to actually do something about the current crisis. People have talked about gamers banding together. Look, guys, we are way, way, way out of position here. Nobody wants to sell GPUs to us right now because they can get a lot more money selling them to other people, and the market is only so big. So what needs to happen, because mining is not going away. Number one, we've got to admit, mining is not going away. We are going to have to evolve the market to coexist with mining and gaming together. That's the first thing that AMD and NVIDIA have to acknowledge and have to move towards. And here's how they do that. So one of the first things I want to see them do, and I think it really, really makes a difference, they need to come out, AMD and NVIDIA, and make a very, very strong statement in support of gaming GPUs for gamers. The kind of thing that we've been seeing recently, especially Zotack's recent screw up. Zotack is one of the AIB partners for NVIDIA. They make NVIDIA cards. And this tweet, an army of Zotack gaming GPUs hungry for coin. And they show their really cool looking card, by the way, all white, a number of them in a cryptocurrency mining setup here. That to me is just absolutely brain dead. Obviously, they agreed because they deleted this tweet not long after. However, Video Cards got a copy of it and put it up here for all of us to see. But number one, AMD and NVIDIA have been getting away with almost being dead silent on this issue. Now, that's beginning to change in like the day I'm filming this, but they absolutely have to come out and start making very, very strong statements that they make gaming cards for gamers, and if they are going to make something for mining, that's going to be for mining. That is the beginning of reinforcing a product segmentation that is going to be necessary to evolve the market so that mining and gaming can coexist, because right now, mining is kicking the crap out of gaming. All right, the next thing that AMD and NVIDIA absolutely have to do is continue with the just released nerfs that NVIDIA released for its RTX 3060 cards for cryptocurrency mining. Yes, this is not a perfect solution, and this is not going to stop anyone who absolutely wants to use these things for mining. And I'm talking about the big institutional mining players who can write their own BIOSes. I completely agree on the one hand with Moore's Law is dead on this, that it will not stop. But we have to begin, in order to force a product segmentation, we've got to begin to introduce at least things that are going to slow it down. We've got to put some speed bumps in the way. Yes, I know this is going to hurt small miners, like people who just want to buy a card and also use it for mining to help pay for the card. I get it. It sucks. That tends to be the way capital markets develop in the world, is that the small players get run over by the big players. It just sucks. But I don't see another way to actually save gaming right now. Gaming is a massive industry. Mining is a massive industry. What we have is the collision of the two along the fault line of the GPU market. So in order to evolve that, something has to change. Somebody's going to lose out. And I feel bad for those small miners out there because they're just ordinary folks. Remember, we're not at war with miners. We're not even at war with mining. We want to find a way to coexist. But in order for coexist, both sides are going to have to give. Now, of course, it's not enough just to try and nerf the mining performance of gaming GPUs. You have to introduce a product that's actually better at doing that than the GPU itself. Yes, there is limited production right now of these kinds of dies. And yes, right now, segmenting that out may take away some of the cards that would otherwise be used for gaming. However, I think it is an important investment right now to begin segmenting these two products and begin evolving them in very different directions from each other so they're no longer competitive. NVIDIA just announced they are restarting their crypto mining processor series, their CMP series. This is a good start. I wish AMD would take a similar, and probably they're looking at this right now given the strong demand and continuing demand for it. It would be really, really nice to see them continue to evolve this and continue to evolve this in such a way that these created on different processes, yes, it's going to cost a lot of money to develop. I'm a realist. I know that this is going to be a multi-year process, but again, I see this as a forever problem. And the only thing we can do is develop an evolving forever solution. So yes, it's going to take a couple years, but I think that this is the right approach. As painful it is going to be for us for the next 12 months or 18 months to develop the production capacity, this is the way it's got to go. Finally, what else do AMD and NVIDIA have to do? They have to introduce cards like this, the Radeon RX 570, or rather reintroduce them. These are cards made on older process nodes that will not compete with their current 7 and 8 nanometer processes. Now, it may or may not be feasible to restart production on some of these at Global Foundries, for instance, where the Polaris cards, I believe, were created on 14 nanometer. Now they have a 12 nanometer process. However, AMD showed us last year when they introduced the Ryzen 1600 AF that they had the capacity to take a 14 nanometer original design and shrink it down to 12 nanometer, and we got a chip with improved performance, right? Instead of being a Ryzen 1600, the performance was closer to a Ryzen 2600 instead. I'm really hopeful that there are ways in which we can reactivate some of the older production to at least buttress the lower end part of the market that has been absolutely devastated. A budget GPU now costs $400 for a GTX 1650, not even a super. That's insane. Those card prices have to come back down in order to stabilize the gaming market and make it accessible to everybody. Yes, you might not be able to get the latest, greatest gaming card, but you won't have a system that has no graphics card whatsoever, which is where a lot of us are. So that's what AMD and NVIDIA have to do right now in order to begin a multi-year segmentation away from GPUs being used for mining and create two different product segments. That's going to do it for us. If you like this kind of video, I don't do a lot of them. I mostly do PC building stuff. So if you like that, remember to like the video, subscribe, and click the bell icon, and I'll catch you on the next one.